Hi everybody, thanks for showing up for my live art show today. Sorry I'm a few minutes late, but I just want to get started right off the bat here and tell you a little bit about myself. If you don't know me already, my name's Michelle Lee. I'm an artist, teacher, and coach, and I call myself a heartist because everything I do comes down to the power of the heart. Rather than always being connected to, a linear, logical side, which of course I have that, and I have way too much of that, as most of us do. But all of my art is empowered from the heart, and the embracing of shadow and light in our life, the contrast in nature, all of those things that help us transform negative to positive energy and live a more beautiful, vibrant, and happy life. So the reason I'm having this live art show is, one, I have a really tiny studio. It's only a tiny bit bigger than what you see here, and I need to clear out some inventory and make room for a new collection I'm starting for 2025. So I love it that you're showing up for me today. Hopefully you might find something you want to buy for yourself or a loved one, and if not, we can just chat about the inspiration behind my art. I will be giving a 50% off discount on everything today, and shipping is included, which I only usually include that on originals, but I'm also offering it on prints as well today. And it's only a limited amount of items and prints. So you can go to my website address. There's a special page connected to this art show where the deals are already there, and it makes it real easy to just click in and buy with one click the special pricing I have today. And halfway through this show, I will take a break and address any questions or comments along the way. So I just ask for you to be a little patient and hold on to your hats. And of course, I love interacting with you. If you have any comments about my art or questions about my studio or my practice, I'd be happy to answer them when I take that break. So what else did I want to say to get started is just, let me really just jump right into it, I guess. So the first piece I'm showing you is, again, really focused on heart energy, and it's a print. It's this print of Heart Open Breaths, and I'll show you nice and close. It's a 10 by 10 inch fine art paper print. It's normally $76. Today it's $37.99. I think there's only 3 available on the shopping page that I have linked. And so you want to nab that quick if you want one of those 3 prints. But the beautiful thing about Heart Open Breath is this is a combination of heart math. I'm a heart math trauma sensitive practitioner, and I use that in my life. I've used it to overcome stress and PTSD and anxiety, and it's also combined with a form of simple body movement that I use in yoga that helps me just really take things down a notch. When life is going crazy or my mind's going crazy, I can sink right into Heart Open Breath and feel much more like ready to face the day, and beyond that, like feel really vital and refreshed and passionate about facing the day. So this original, I think, is still available on my website, but today I'm just selling the prints at a special deal. You can get the original anytime on my website. But this half price deal with shipping included, you can get for the next day or two. I'll have that special page online. And again, that's Heart Open Breath. The web page I have set up for you if you're interested in buying today. Hi, Jim. I can't see your message yet, but I will check it out during the break. I don't have my glasses on. I'm so glad you stopped in. Jim's one of my collectors, and he got a little early bird link to this page, so he might have already been there. I think a few items have sold already to my VIPs. But I'll just move along. I sort of lost my train of thought there, but I'm going to move on to the next piece of artwork, which is Summer Dance. And Summer Dance is a small original. It is 11 by 14 inches abstract. And this was created on the summer solstice. I'm going to give you a close-up view because you can see it's an acrylic, but it also has this wild big puddle of high gloss resin poured on the top of it, and then these golden glass chunks laid over it. And so this is all about summer solstice energy, and like almost like the flowers and the air and the sunshine are all dancing together, and that's how I feel in the summer. And so the contrast that I love to work with is really between the color and then the high gloss and then the glass chunks, almost like the sunshine has solidified to come down to dance with the flowers. So Summer Dance is available as an original today, 50% off. Normally, I think it's about $310. Today, it's $154.99 with shipping included. And again, you can find it on the link in the description for this video. So my next one is my tiniest original painting ever. It's called All That Glitters, and it's a tiny 4 by 4 inch piece. And this is what it looks like up close. And again, this one is a full resin pour. It's an acrylic painting, and I'll show you it real close up because it also has iridescent beads embedded in the crystal. It has metallic pigment powder of copper and blue in there, and it also has some quartz crystals embedded in there. And so All That Glitters is a beautiful example of co-creation with my fans, because sometimes I'll ask my email tribe to help me title a piece, or I'll ask them for feedback on a title. So this was actually titled by one of my fans, All That Glitters. And this was also, the process this was created was one of the things I teach when I teach my art workshops, and that's about intuitive art and embracing the magic of our mistakes, you know, and then we take that forward into our life. So I call it accidental magic, where when we start messing up in our art, there's always this ugly stage where we're like, oh God, don't look at it, or what did I just do? I ruined that cool thing I had going on. But it's about like rising above that and then just allowing ourselves the freedom to play and be less self-critical and less judgmental about ourselves. And when you let go like that, that's suddenly when this accidental magic appears. And I think I actually have 2 videos about that process on YouTube for this specific painting, because when I first did the resin layer, I mixed it wrong and it didn't dry. It was all gooey and just would not cure. So I had to redo it, and I had to embrace that mistake and just keep going. And it created this beautiful, tiny, little mini piece. Again, it's the smallest art original that I have ever done, and I have it for sale today. It's 4 by 4 inches. It's normally $129. Yeah, $129, and today it's on sale for $63.99. So that is All That Glitters. And all the pieces I'm showing today are in the same order on that link in the video description. So you won't have to hunt around for them. They'll just be right in the order I go through them in the video. I've tried to make it as easy as I can for you. So the next piece of artwork I have is a print on metal, which is really cool. It's a contemporary look. And this is from a watercolor painting, but this one is an original. Or I'm sorry, this one is a print, like I said, and it's on like a satin like finish metal, and I might not even have the satin finish on my website. Like, this is a special one-off piece. It's 12 by 21 inches. All of my artwork comes with like the originals or prints that are on solid surfaces. All come with hardware ready to hang, so they're very high quality. A paper print, of course, you would have to mat and have framed. They're not ready to hang. But this print is called Suncatcher. Again, it's 12 by 21. I'm trying to get it where you can see it without my lights being too crazy on there. And so this original Suncatcher is, you know, obviously we all love the colors of fall if we live in an area where we see the fall foliage. But the tree specifically, I have a connection to. The birch tree, which is where the shadows of the leaves are here in the background, is considered the lady of the woods. And it's all about connecting to the spirit of nature, which is big in my heart and in my life. Like, every day I have to have time in nature. And then the leaves of the maple trees. The maple trees are the most abundant, some of the most, if not the most abundant tree in North America, and really prolific in Pennsylvania and the Pocono Mountains where I live. And I am particular to the brilliant red and crimson and salmony orange colors that come out on this tree in the fall. So that's why I was so inspired to paint this piece. I do have the framed original still on my website available, but today the 12 by 21 print, normally at $275, is available today for $136.99. I can't remember if I already said that, so bear with me if I did. I just have 2 more pieces, and then I'm taking a break to chat with y'all. So the next one is a big piece. It's a diptych, and a diptych is a set of 2 paintings that go together, usually either hung side by side or on top of each other, or you can choose to hang them whatever way looks great in your room. And these are special paintings of a local landmark in the Pocono Mountains. So this is how they would hang. Let me get them. I might need to back up a little bit for you to see them in full. So this is like the same setting. This one is in early spring before the leaves come out, and this one is the lighting of early winter. And so this is actually the Lehigh Tannery ruins, where they used to tan hides back in the 1800s. It was a huge booming town back then. Now it's just this little tiny village, but as you walk through the Lehigh Gorge State Park, you can see this old structure along the river. Trying to get it a little more even for you. You can see this old structure around the river, and it's so eye-catching because it's like this linear grid in the middle of the woods with this beautiful bounty of nature bursting up and like rehoming, there. So what I love about that is the contrast between nature and, the human world, and nature's ability to just like recycle itself and renew itself. And so that's where the inspiration comes from, that beautiful cycle of life, of like death and rebirth and life again. And it's just, to me, that's so inspiring, and it helps me work through those waves that come up in life. So the next one is When the Shadows Play. I'm sorry, I didn't mention the pricing. On Seasons Lost, those are 2 24-inch by 18-inch acrylic on canvas paintings. Again, they're ready to hang, and they're normally, that set is $1,727, and today it's on sale for $863.99, includes shipping. So I'm going to move on to When the Shadows Play, and that's one of my more romantic, sensual pieces. It's all in one hue, different shades of purpley blue. And this is actually a print of a much larger original painting. But it's a print on canvas, so it almost looks like an original. The edges are purple. You can see the back. It's ready to hang. It's labeled and titled back here. A very high quality print. This is 18 by 24 inches, and it's normally $367. Today it's on sale for $192.99. And the inspiration behind When the Shadows Play is, again, contrast in the divine feminine spirit of like this fierce, protective, motherly, passionate nature, and then this soft curves and compassionate heart and nurturing heart of a woman, and of the divine feminine energy that we all carry. But it's also represented in the angles of the shadows, the sharpness of the shadows overlaying this like almost wanton abandon of the female form. And you don't know whether these shadows are like straps that are holding her down or that she's bursting free of. So it really embodies all that like beautiful energy of abandon that the feminine spirit gifts us with. So again, that's When the Shadows Play, and it's an 18 by 24 inch print. So, I am going to take a quick break for a couple minutes here. I'm still live with you, but I want to just check and see if there's any messages for me to reply to here. Okay, so Jim is teaching. Want to just stop by and say he loves my art. Yes, he is a buyer of my art. He has an actual a triptych similar to one I'll be showing you soon. In my next session, part of the session here. So that's a set of 3 that he owns. And let me just check if you have any other comments. Please chime in the video comments, and I'm happy to answer them. And meanwhile, I'll just tell you a little bit about, well, the link you can buy anything from, in addition to being under my video here in the description, is www.michelleleearts.com. Michelle has 2 L's. And then there's a slash, and then it's live-art-show. So www.michelleleearts.com/live-art-show with hyphens between the words there. But I wanted to tell you, too, about some recent things I've been doing. So I also do a series of mini paintings, not quite as small as my 4x4, but I do 8x8 inch sky boxes that are just focused on the art of the sky, which I know we all love, sunrises and sunsets mostly. I have an example here. This is one that sold a while ago. I just happened to have borrowed it from the owner, and it wasn't for this show, but I thought, why not show it? So this is called a skybox. It's nice because you can hang it up, or you can like set it on a mantelpiece or a table or something. And skyboxes are always focused on the beautiful energy of the sky, and super connected to our heart energy. In yoga, like our Heart-Chakra is connected to the element of air. So air and sky are really connected. Obviously, and my skyboxes are usually sunrises and sunsets. I just did 2 recently that have a new effect where the edges are metallic gold and it overlaps a little onto the front, so it forms like a faux frame. And then also there's always a tiny snippet of land or like tree line or mountain edges at the bottom, and those are now in the new skyboxes. They're filled with stars, so they're almost like a star box. I still call them skyboxes, but both of those, luminous and resplendence, were created and sold the first day I took them to an art walk. So I will have prints available within the next 2 weeks on my website, but I just want to give you a sneak peek at like one other thing that, you know, I'm not talking about to sell today, but I just wanted to show you, like, hey, skyboxes, they're small, they're affordable, and they're something that I'll have some prints out soon. Also, what I'll be doing soon, and I'll probably be doing some of this live online, is just some live print embellishments. And I'll show you an example of that soon. But for example, what I might do is take a canvas print like this and go in and create a limited edition 1-of-1 print where I maybe do some kind of resin on it, or I might get colored pastels and sketch over certain portions to highlight or call out or add a little fire or add a little bit of just different kind of energy to the piece. And so those are other things that are coming up soon, in addition to this whole new collection I'm starting in 2025. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about what's been going on in my studio. And since I don't seem to have any more comments or questions, I will just move on to the last part of the show, where I'll show you a few more pieces. So one of them is this huge one in the background. This is a 40-inch by 30-inch acrylic and mixed media piece. And I'll bring it closer. This is called Sky is Crying. And it's about the energy of nature. You know, like sometimes, just like us, the sky has to weep before it can grow or get bright again. So we have all these colors of like the blue of sky and the brown and darks of like the fertility of earth and the cycle of creation. But when you get up close, where the magic happens with this piece is there are these large drips here of thick, gooey, high gloss. Let's see if I can get a few of them to show up for you. Resin, and then as you get closer, there are actually quartz crystals embedded in this painting. So I can't see what you can see too good, but there you go. Here's one. There's actually 7 of these crystals on the painting. There's another one here. There we go. Here's one, there's a few down there, and all the way across here you can see that there's different like drips. And so this piece is like a real eye catcher as you get up close to it, because when you see it from across the room, sorry, I'm trying to give you the best view I can. Hopefully you're catching some glare on the different resin areas. But this piece is really interesting because when you see it from afar, it just looks like this like wild abstract energy of nature. Oh, I'm going to set this to the side for my next piece to show you. It just looks like this wild energy of nature, but then as you get closer you see like, oh, what are those glossy things going on? And then as you get really close you can see the quartz crystals, and it becomes something you just want to sink right into and explore. So that 40 by 30 original is normally $23.99, and today it's $11.99. So again, the shipping is free. That's a big piece to ship. So if you ever wanted to own one of my big originals, today is the time to do it. And with that said, if there aren't any other questions on that piece, I will move on to the triptychs that I mentioned. So the triptych is this set back here. This is called Burnish. This is similar to the triptych, the set of 3, like I said, Jim, who chimed in that he owns. And these are 3 9 by 12 inch panels. They go together, they're numbered on the back so you know what order to put them, although you can always rotate them or frame them if you want. But these are also related to the elements of nature. So the bottom layer is acrylic, and it's like a cream color, and there's some darks in there and some turquoise, and then the top layer is this resin pour with metallic, sorry, I'm getting the highlight of my light in there. Resin pour with like metallic copper paint in it. So the normal, traditional elements of nature are like earth, air, wind, and fire. Right. So earth, air, water, and fire. And in Chinese medicine, metal is also considered an element. So that comes into play with like Chinese medicine practice when it comes to our health and Ayurveda and things like that. But these 3 pieces come together. Let me show you another one close up. These 9 by 12 inch panels, the set of 3 is normally $2.99. Today it's $148.99. And you can see, I think, that this layer, this top layer, actually has like a little bit of a texture to it too. So again, this is one of those pieces that the closer you get to it, the more you're like mesmerized by that flowy coppery paint mixed into the resin and like almost floating over the acrylic paint in the background. So that's called Burnish. Let's see if I can hold all 3 of them up for you a little closer. So I know my lighting isn't that great in the background. So let's see if I can just... So that's how they look as a set of 3. I usually put them on the wall about an inch or 2 apart like that. Okay. But if anybody would want a closer look at these, of course, you could message me and I'd be happy to jump on a Zoom or something with you, or a FaceTime or something. Let's see, make sure I have them. I think I do have them in the right order. Now, what if love is the only answer? This painting has a lot of meaning for me because it helped me transform like a huge point in our country where a lot of us were feeling very full of angst and divisiveness, and it was not a great time for families and friends disagreeing. And so instead of like allowing that anger and emotional havoc to mess with me, I actually, well, it was messing with me, but I meditated, and that message came to me. What if love is the answer? And while I was painting this piece, I added only in there. So what if love is the only answer? Now this is a 18-inch by 12-inch print. And the original is much bigger than this. It's already sold, and it's a really popular piece. But what's special about this print is it's a limited edition, the only limited edition I offer right now, and it's a one of one. So there won't be another like it. And what it makes it a one of one is it's hand embellished just like the original here with this spot gloss resin over the lettering. So you can see that it's like super high gloss. It really pops off the surface of the canvas. And again, it's a print, but it's on canvas almost like an original, so it really has this beautiful quality to it. It is hand signed by me. It's the only print hand signed because all my other prints are open edition. So limited edition means there's usually like might be 100 prints, and yours would be numbered. So print 1 of 100, print 2 of 100, print 3. This is print 1 of 1. So it's a really special print. Would normally be $429.99. Today it's $214.99 with free shipping. This actually was also painted. I didn't tell you about how cool this painting process was. So that day that I got that message in my meditation, I was sitting on my couch really despondent, and after I got that message of love in my meditation, I actually jumped up, grabbed a painting I had wanted to paint over. It was like a painting I didn't like, again, transformation, and I got all my angry energy out on the base layer of the painting. And then the next few days I painted live online and collaborated with the audience, and I started to build out these different layers of color and texture. And as I started to put the words on, they started trying to guess what the words would be, and they would say, hey, add more yellow there, add more pink over there. And so again, it was this awesome process of co-creation, and it helped me transform totally that negative energy I was feeling into something beautiful and positive, to put more love into my life and into the world through my artwork. And it actually inspired one of the classes I teach called Soul Abstract Painting. So I teach this process now in my in-person workshops. But anyway, I think that's a really cool story about how that painting came about. Now I'll show you Dreamer, which also has like deep meaning to me because she's an oldie but a goodie. This is a paper print. My original is still available framed on my website. It's got a beautiful custom frame. This is an 18 by 24 inch paper print. Okay, so you would have to mat and frame it. And it's from an original mixed media painting, and there's like everything but the kitchen sink in here. It's like graphite, ink, watercolor, acrylics, pastel pencil, and I think I covered it. I think I covered all of it there. But the story behind Dreamer, well, let me hold her up while I'm talking about her. So Dreamer's my bud. She really is part of my spirit. And I had originally created her as a line drawing in high school. So let me date myself by saying that was the late 80s. And in a few years after college, I had moved to the Pocono area. And I redid her as a pastel, and like a pastel drawing. And she only had a little bit of color around her. She was still mostly a pencil drawing, like in the center of her face. Again, I love the contrast between like pencil and color. I'm just so passionate about contrast. So anyway, I had these two different versions of her, and they were just sort of laying around. I just never did anything with them. And then years later, I went through a massive flash flood with my husband and my 2 dogs at that time, and we almost died. We lost 40 feet of foundation from our house. We lost all our cars, our ATVs. My entire first business was in the lower level. I lost all of my assets from that business that I had just started, a couple years before that. And we were rescued off our roof, and we went through a 6-hour insane, I call it an adventure now, but at the time it was a horrible, horrible thing. And we actually went up over my car in the creek that was flooding as we went, were swept downstream in this raft. And 6 hours later, we were rescued by the National Guard, with our original rescuers in the boat with us. So like we needed 2 sets of rescuers to get us out of that creek. The National Guard came and rescued us and our first set of rescuers 6 hours later. So the way that relates to this piece is after that, many years after that, I went through something else that made me get back into my art, and I decided to recreate Dreamer and paint her in her full glory of Dreamer, the spirit inside of me and so many of you, I think, that has to overcome challenges in life and to keep on dreaming, and not just keep dreaming, but achieving those dreams, reaching for those dreams, and overcoming the things that life puts in our way. So again, that story of transformation is really at the heart of Dreamer. And this paper print is normally like $148 on my website. But today she's available on that link below my video for $73.99, and like everything, shipping is free. So just double checking comments here. Thanks for checking in and visiting me today. I just have one more, sort of 2 pieces to tell you about, and I want to mention meanwhile that all of my originals now come with a certificate of authenticity. So this is for the upcoming piece I'm going to show you. Once a customer buys it, I sign and date the bottom for the date of purchase, so that you're receiving an authentic piece of original art from Michelle Lee. And so my last piece I want to show you is called Stay Gold. And Stay Gold is a 10 by 10 inch acrylic painting of a spiral. I do a lot of spirals in my art, like you saw in Heart Open Breath, right? This was similar, original to this one, different color palette. And the spiral, I love it because it's one of the most ancient symbols that man used to express our creativity. So you can find it on cave walls. It was used to paint our bodies. It was found in jewelry, on pottery. And it's all about that cycle of transformation and the cycle of life that I brought up. So, that journey, that personal journey we take through our lives of like our ego and what people expect of us, and these outside things that we get validation from. And as we grow older or we go through things, we start to dig into our own personal spirit and our journey into ourself, where all the power really is and where the validation needs to come from. So I don't know if you notice where the title Stay Gold came from. I'm curious if anybody would want to comment on that. But I won't leave you hanging. So, Stay Gold is a reference to the movie The Outsiders, which was a huge, popular movie in my generation. And it was about overcoming challenges and friendship and things we can all relate to. And Stay Gold is actually a reference that Ponyboy made to Johnny. Was it Johnny to Ponyboy? No, I think it was Ponyboy to Johnny. But anyway, it's about the Robert Frost poem, which mentions Stay Gold in reference to, through all these challenges in life, through the dark times in life, to maintain our integrity and always do the right thing. Hi Sue, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, great movie. The Outsiders. Anyone who hasn't seen it should check it out, and then you'll understand where the title for this painting came from. And again, this is a 10 by 10 inch original acrylic painting. Normally it's $150 on my website. Today it's $74.99. Shipping's included. I also have paper prints available. I only had a couple though. I think they already sold. They were $75.99 on sale for $38. Just like this paper print, I think, is still available. So with that said, I just want to see if there are any last questions from anybody, any comments on my art, anyone curious about my studio or some of the other projects I brought up that are coming for 2025, or the skyboxes I mentioned. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. And if you happen to be watching this on the replay, feel free to just ask me questions in the comments, and I will respond to them as soon as I see them. Let me just check. Thanks so much for chiming in, Sue. And for everyone who stopped in and popped in and visited my studio today, I have a lot going on, and by helping me clear out my studio and taking advantage of some of these deals, maybe you get a jump on the Black Friday shopping frenzy. And if not getting it for your own walls, you can gift someone else some art that gets us out of like this big box retailer and Amazon kind of craziness of not all that high quality stuff, not all that memorable stuff, right? By owning some actual art connected to somebody that inspires you, and hopefully inspires your day every day as you walk by that piece hanging on your wall. So I just want to say this sale is only going to be going on for another day or two. I'll leave that shopping page up just for the next day or two, and then these deals will be gone. So if you're interested, get the link below my video. It's www.michelleleearts.com/live-art-show. If you miss that sale, all these pieces, or most of them anyway, some of them are not on my website. So some of them are like today or nothing, but most of them are available either as original or prints on my website. And so thank you so much for joining my live art show today. I really appreciate your time. I know we all have so much to do, and I just hope that I inspired a little bit of beauty in your day, a little bit of connection to the heart, and a little bit of inspiration for you too to transform any negative energy in your life, in the world outside of you, in your community, your job, the politics, or anything else in the world that is like driving you crazy and keeping you stuck in your head. I hope just talking about art with me for a little bit and seeing some of my art and what inspires me has helped lift your day, even if it's only for a few minutes. And I invite you to, if you don't want to buy any art, please stop by my website and just sign up to join my email tribe, and we can stay connected, and I'll be happy to continue inspiring you. I also offer free Zoom workshops where you can paint and meditate with me and things in real short format. So anyway, I'll say goodbye. Thank you so much for coming.